Are you wondering how to create a project management plan? Perhaps you're looking for a template. Well, if that's the case, then you've come to the right place, because today I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can create a project management plan from scratch. I'll be sharing with you all of the key things you need to include as well. Now, before I begin, I do just want to let you know that I am making this pre-formatted and optimized template available for download, and you can get that via the link in the description below. It'll also come with an additional document which explains the kind of information that you're going to want to include in each and every section. It will come at a cost, but that does help support the channel, and I'll try and make it as reasonably priced as possible, and it should save you a lot of time. But if you do just want to learn how to actually build this yourself, then let's delve into it. Before we begin, I do just want to quickly touch upon what a project management plan, also known as a PMP, is, so that you can really understand what you need to include. So essentially, it's a formal approved document that defines how a project is executed, monitored, and controlled. It serves as a roadmap for the project and includes detailed plans for different aspects such as scope, schedule, cost, quality, resources, communication, risk, and stakeholder management. Now, it guides the team through the project's lifecycle, ensuring that objectives are clear and processes are in place to manage changes, risks, and issues. It's a dynamic document that can be updated as the project progresses and new information becomes available. The plan is essential for aligning the team's efforts and for communicating key project information to stakeholders. So I think it's really important just to preface what we're building here, so you know why everything that we are going to build now is included. So the first thing I'd recommend that you do is, of course, save your file, give it a name, make sure it's very specific and you know where to save it. From there, the first thing I'm going to suggest that you do is insert a cover page. Now, there are various different options available, and all of these can be refined to your requirements. Perhaps it's for your organization's colors or branding, but for the purpose of this demo, I will just be using this one here. Okay, so as I say, this is more about the process and what to include rather than optimizing it for your specific needs. So what I would suggest that you do here is add your project name, the exact project you're working on. And I'd also mention here that this is a project management plan. You want to make that really, really specific. Enter your name, so who's producing the document, and then you can put your company name and company address in as well. That's the kind of information I'd put on the cover page. Bear in mind that that different cover pages will, have different layouts and ways to put that in. Now, you could just use a regular page and put this information in and make the text larger. That is an option as well. Okay, now we're going to put a table of contents in, but we're not going to put that in just yet. That will come later. Okay, so we're going to actually build out all of the pages first, and it won't take that long, you'll be pleased to hear, and the process is pretty straightforward. But that is something to bear in mind. The table of contents will come later, and that enables anyone who opens this document up on their PC or device will be able to jump. There'll be hyperlinks so they can jump to each component as and when needed. So the first thing we're going to create is the executive summary. So what I like to do for all of the main sections is use the heading on the top ribbon from the home. So if you click on home and then click heading, we'll call this heading 2. So if you can imagine, the document title will be heading 1. We could put heading 1 in like that. I'm actually going to take that out just because of the formatting it's put in there, but you could have that as heading 1. Now heading 2, so this is all about how we're structuring it, and that's very, very important for the table of contents that follow thereafter. So heading 2, the first thing we're going to have is our executive summary. Okay, so let's put that in. 1, executive. As I say, if you want that optimized template, it will be in the link in the description below. For the interest of time, I won't be optimizing all of this. So in terms of text size, coloring, things like that, I'm not going to do that because it just takes too much time. I want to get this video kind of recorded and help you build this as soon as possible. So the first thing I put in is 1, executive summary. Now, what we're going to be using, and this is going to be core to the rest of this video, is we're going to be using tables. And all you need is a 1-by-1 table. And if you press enter, you can make this box as small or large as you want. Now, depending on what the topic is or what area, so this is the executive summary, I'd recommend making the box kind of in relation to how much information you want to put in here or you expect to put in here. So let's just put this as, this kind of size. In the executive summary section, you're going to want to put, or you can use the project charter to kind of summarize the purpose of the project. So you want to be detailing your goals and objectives. So you want sufficient space here. Let's move on to number 2. And again, remember to put this in as a heading, or select that first. 2. Now the second thing we're going to want to include is the project management approach and governance. And in this section, again, we're going to be using insert, we are going to be going table, and we're going to go one by one table. So we want to make this probably about this size. Okay, and in here, we want to describe the management approach for the project. So you could link to the governance plan here. This is all about detailing the roles and responsibilities of the project team members. Maybe you want to list vendors or other organisations that may be providing third-party resources to the project as well. Now, that's number 2. Now, we're going to build this section out a little bit more. So we're going to call this 2.1. I should have put this as heading 3. So if you imagine these are heading 2, this will therefore be heading 3 because it's going to be part of the section 2, project management approach and governance section. So here we're going to put project scope. And as you can imagine, we're going to be putting another table in, table 1. Make this a little bit bigger here. Now, project scope is all about defining the limits of the project, what the focus is going to be, what we hope to achieve, and how we can prevent scope creep. Okay, we don't want the project to do any more than we set out to, and that's what the project scope is all about. Next, we want to have, again, heading 3, 2.2, deliverables. This is what the project hopes to achieve, and you guessed it, we're going to go for a table one by one, and we're going to make this about that size. Now, of course, deliverables is essentially the outcomes of the project or what's being delivered. 2.3, oh, I keep doing this. Remember to do the heading first. So 2.3 will be the work breakdown structure, also known as the WBS. So you could put that, I spelled that incorrectly. Excuse me there. The WBS is all about, again, we're going to have the table. So this is all about discussing how the project links into each other. So in other words, what tasks are reliant on other tasks to complete before the next task can be facilitated. It's all about work packages and essentially how the project will unfold in terms of what's reliant on other aspects of the project. So then we've got as 2.4, we have the stakeholder analysis. So here it's all about describing our stakeholders really, identifying them, how they'll impact the project or be impacted by the project. You can also put a stakeholder analysis matrix in here if you wanted. That is, I've seen some organisations do that as well. So table 1. But you see the process here. It's the same. It's building out these tables, if you like, and giving you an area to enter the information. So that's 2.4. They're not all tables, by the way, like this. We do have some variations, so don't just give up now. There's plenty more to produce. There's around 10 items, I believe, which is why I wanted to make that resource downloadable, to be honest, because you can sit here and go through all of this, but most valuable resource in life is time. So if you can save yourself time, then you are, well, it's not much better, is there? The schedule baseline is the next table we're going to build. And this is all about helping you gauge progress on the project, essentially. Now, 2.6, this is where we're going to mix it up a little bit. So this is the milestone list. Now, this is all about summarising the major milestones and listing each one out and giving a date and describing how to update any changes to the schedule and how you can communicate those changes. So what I'd like to do here is just put this on the next page, and this time we're going to insert a table, no surprise there, but we're going to have, a 3 by, let's put in a a 3x5 for now. We can always expand this. What I like to do at this point, I'm going to zoom in, move that Grammarly little thing there. That's very annoying. What we're going to do at this stage is I'm going to shade this. So we're going to put this in like a nice grey, and then I'm going to put in here milestone. We're going to put in here description, so the ability to enter a description of that milestone, and a date as well. Now you can insert new rows here, you can delete rows depending on how many milestones you want to document for your project. Next up, we need a change management plan. Again, we're going back to the 1x1 table. Oh, I've messed that up somehow. Not sure how I did that. Doesn't matter, we sorted it out. And let's make this a little bit bigger. And the change management plan is all about describing the changes or the control process. It's about describing who can submit changes, who can approve changes, and how changes are communicated and tracked. So it's a really, really important thing to introduce here. So make sure you've got that. I look like I've lost my formatting, so I'm actually going to delete that off. Let's go again, insert, because we want this to be uniform. That's right. Excellent. Yeah, we want all the boxes to be uniform. Excellent. So that's 2.7. Now the last one, I believe in this section, I could be wrong, but I think this is the last one we need to cover, is the 2.8, is the project scope management plan. Project scope management plan. Now this is all about, so again we need another table 1x1. This is all about detailing who has the authority to manage project scope and how that scope will be measured and who will approve the final project. So that's the kind of information you want to include in 2.8. Now we're on to section 3, which is a heading 2, I believe. Now we need to create at this point the communication management plan, because this is very, very important for ensuring all stakeholders are kept up to date. So this is about providing stakeholders with the right information at the right time, what they need, how frequently, who should be updated, when, why, that kind of thing. So a communication plan is often used in tandem with the stakeholder list. So what you can do here is create a table of, let's do a 4 by, again, 5. We might want to make this bigger depending on how many stakeholders we want to include. Again, I'd like to put a nice grey, bit of professional background. Now, stakeholder name can go in the first column, their title, who they are, their relation to the project if you like, their email, and then there could be a phone number. You could also put something like this, something like email, interest in project, if you see what I mean. Why they're a stakeholder? Why is this project impacting them? Now the other table you could put at this point is 6 by, let's put 6 by 5 again. Now what you could do in this second table is you could, let's put that as a grey again. This is all about the types of communication you want to send out. So the communication type, a description, this could be a weekly status update report, frequency of distribution, the method of distribution, deliverable, and the owner of that deliverable. So that's good to put in the communication plan as well. Number 4, so this is, I believe it's a heading 2 again. We have the resource management plan. And in the resource management plan, we're going to have a table, and we're going to make that larger, of course. Now, this is all about including all the resources, the equipment, supplies required on the project, also detailing whether goods or services will be purchased or rented, that kind of thing. Number 5, so heading 2, is the human resource. Oh, I've missed the number off. 5, human resource management plan. Again, we're going to have a table with one. So most of this document is produced with this table. I recommend it. It's much easier to update. You can add text. It looks great. You can actually change the styling of this if you wanted to, the bordering, how it appears. So that's what I really, really like about it and why I recommend a table. It's very, very adaptable to suit your needs. Now, the human resources management plan is all about your staffing needs for the project, skill sets, maybe cost in terms of salary or hourly rates, any training requirements, gaps, those kind of things. When positions will be filled, you can include names, titles, and contact information as well. Now, I would include this is a 5.1, so this would be a heading 3. This is a project staff list. So here, I'd recommend literally just documenting via a table of around, say, something like a 3 by, let's put a 3 by 5, a table that literally just, what happened to my, I want to put the shading in here, there you go. This is just documented who's working on this project and having everyone in one place. You could put an email address here as an example. So that's 5.1. We're now on to number 6, and we are getting there, by the way. If you're still with me, you're doing very well. We are too far away. You then want to include a schedule management plan. And at this point, you want to be putting in this, of course. And the schedule management plan is all about explaining the methods for developing the schedule and what tools will be used to record and post the schedule, and any kind of changes as well. Number 7. A quality management plan. This is also important to include. And in this particular area of the project management plan, we are going to be detailing, or this is what you want to put in here. You want to be putting things like describing processes that will ensure the quality of the deliverables. So maybe you're defining quality standards, continuous improvement processes, quality governance metrics, reporting frequency, methods, those kind of things. So that's number 7. We are getting very much through this. 8. Risk management plan. So here is all about outlining how we are going to, as the name suggests, manage risks on the project, how risk will be identified, analysed and prioritised. You also might want to describe any methods used to track your risks and maybe even put in mitigation plans as well. You could put in here, I like to put it in, I'd recommend it, an 8.1, and this can be your risk log. So you could put your risk log in here, or you could also link out to a risk log that you may be tracking or using elsewhere, which is likely, it could be an Excel file or something like that, or explaining how individuals could access that. At number 9, and as I say, we are really getting close to the end here, we've got the cost baseline. Excuse me, I've got a call then. So in the cost baseline, we are going to want to have, again, a table, and in the cost baseline, no, sorry, we don't want one of those. We want we do want a table, but I recommend a 3-column table, 3 by 5 we could have. And in this, again, we'd want this nice shading, keep it consistent, that's really, really important. And in the cost baseline, you want to put things like your project phase, your budgeted total, and comments. These are the kind of columns I would suggest using here. Now, the cost baseline is all about, you want to detail your based on cost of the project. You want to provide the basis for tracking, reporting, and managing costs, and having this as a table is most effective. Now, we're going to have the quality baseline. So how are we kind of ensuring that the quality of the project is of optimal standard? So again, I would have something like a 3 by 5 here. We're going to put that in a nice grey when I get there. And we are going to have, as the columns, we're going to have item, acceptable level, and comments. Now you can obviously change the formatting of this. You could put all these bolded, you could have a different colour, but I just think this looks quite good. It's quite professional. And again, when I talk about colouring, you could change these as well. This isn't a blue at the moment by default. We could have that as a grey or a black. That would look really, really nice against how these tables are created. Now, really nearly there. I would suggest pulling in, as number 11, and appendices. So the ability to attach or link to separate plan documents or other reference documents. So all you need here is a table. So insert table, maybe 2 by 5. At the top here, you could put these in a grey, and then you could have something like attachment name and the location or link to that resource. Okay, brilliant. We're really close. The only other thing I would probably include is an authorization signature, a place for that. So put this in at number 12. And this is all about really talking about who prepared the document. So I'll just put this in as normal for now. Who prepared the document? You could put something like, so let's put this in bold. We'll go name and title, and if you go above here and then so create a line like that, then you could, when you print this off, that could be kind of printed, and then you could put another thing for signature. So that's a shift on my keyboard and the kind of small little line on the keyboard as well, holding that simultaneously, and then you could put signature as well. So I'd do one for prepared by. I'd then select all of this, press Control C, press Control V, and then this one will be approved by, and I'm just changing that out. So we've got the authorization signature. And then the last thing that we need to do before adding in the table of contents is I would have a version history. So we'll put this as a heading 2, but we won't put a number. And I would just literally put something like a table of 5 by, let's do 5 by 5 for now. Again, put this in like a nice grey. And what we're going to do is we are going to, so let's put that in a grey. And then basically anytime this is updated, we should be updating this table. Because that way we know who's changed it, when they've changed it, you want your project to have a really good audit trail. And you don't want things to be changed from what was agreed at the start of the project, or otherwise it's not good for anyone. And it can get you in serious trouble. So yes, these are the columns I would recommend. And that's the version history. And that is the document. The other thing I would really do before we finish up is I would insert, but where are we? Page numbers, and I would put them in the bottom of the page. And I would probably put the accent bar 2. I think that looks really, really nice. So, or something like that. The ability to have page numbers, it's great for when you're printing it off. So I would put page numbers in for sure. The other thing we need to do is we need to put in the table of contents. So to do that, you click review, I believe, and then you need to, or design, it could be design, layout, I'll get there in the end, or view, it is somewhere, review. Home, insert. I always lose where it is. Design, layout, references. Of course it's references. Table of contents. Now we can have an automatic table or we can put a manual, but I would suggest an automatic table. Press this and you'll see that it's created this all by default based on those headings we set up at the start of the video. Now I'm actually just going to move this down because it's actually, if I go back, the reason why this did this is because I kind of did it while I was on the executive summary. So if I need to get above there. There we go. So now, that's what you want to do is make sure you're before the executive summary. Click references, table of contents, automatic table. And here we go. So this now will be a link that you can click on at any point. You can mark citations, you can change all of this. You can really kind of make this really, really useful. And anytime you update your document underneath, you can then go up to the table of contents and there is an update table button and it will rework it all out. But you can see the parent-child relationship and it looks fantastic. So that is how to create a project management plan. I hope this video is useful. Do consider buying the template. If you made it this far, chances are that you've gone ahead and built it. That's great. I'm really pleased that you did that. But if this video is useful, please hit the like button. It tells me I should continue recording videos like this. If you have any questions about this particular template, the process, what needs to be included, then do drop a comment down below. I do check every single one of my comments and I will get back to you. So yeah, make sure you do that. Otherwise, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with all of that said, I hope you have an excellent day.